Good afternoon, and thank you for joining Conversations for College Success. The topic today, how does college prepare you for life, or what to think about during your third and fourth years you are in college, part 2. Congratulations, you've made it to your junior year. You should now be taking 300 and 400 level classes, which you should enjoy, and most should not be difficult for you. There might be one or two, but many should not be difficult to you. You should be enjoying your classes. You should be looking forward to attending your classes. Continue to be aware of your attitude towards your major and career choice. Are you still committed to your major? You should, if you didn't join in your sophomore year, you should be joining student clubs and particularly student chapters of professional organizations in your chosen field. It gives you an opportunity to meet other students and, just as importantly, or even more importantly, professionals in your field. Some of your professors will be the person who is responsible for that organization, but you will also be linked to professionals within your field. Make sure you take the time to introduce yourself and get to know those folks. You should continue to gain relevant experience through hopefully your second co-op or internship that you would be completing at the end of your junior year. Continue to get to know faculty, staff, and administrators. They can provide valuable information as well as be references for you for whether it's scholarships or positions in terms of internships or upon graduation. You can take electives in other areas to enhance your qualifications. So you want to think about, do you want to specialize in one field and take all of your electives in that field, or do you want to broaden your skill set? An example, if you were an accounting major, do you want to take finance classes and auditing classes or even tax classes, or do you only want to take accounting classes? The one allows you to diversify and be able to dabble in the other areas. The one only allows you to stay within the field of accounting. And that was just used as an example. Think about and investigate whether or not you want to go to graduate school. And I say think about and investigate because there's some other things that are going to be in play. Some students will go straight through because you can get your master's with one additional year in college. Are there advantages to that? Yes. Are there disadvantages to that? Yes. I'm concerned with the disadvantages in that if you have not worked in your career field and more than just as an intern, do you really enjoy what you're about to do for a number of years? I won't necessarily say for the rest of your life because you can change careers or change opportunities throughout your career because you'll have many years to work in whatever your chosen career field is. Having said that, I have found, and a number of my colleagues also agree, that you should work in your field for at least a couple of years before you determine graduate school. Rationale behind that, although you start, let's say, in accounting and you work in that field, you may decide you would rather work in tax or you might rather work in finance, in which case, if that's the case and your bachelor's degree is in accounting, then you can get a master's degree in finance or auditing or tax. A perfect example of that would be my own background, where I got my undergraduate degree in mathematics, went into business, and decided to get my master's in business because I had not taken any business classes while I was in my undergraduate. That allowed me to work much more effectively within the business world. So you really do want to think about your career direction, whether or not you think you will stay in that or there might be opportunities for you to change. A different example is I did have a student who was planning to go straight through and did not finish their master's, which was only going to be 1 year. They realized that at the end of the first semester of their master's, they were really no longer interested in that direction. And had they waited that year, they would have realized this was not the direction and gotten their master's in something else. Everyone has to take the time to think about and learn and make the decisions that make sense for them. Part of the reason I say that, I do know people who have 2 master's degrees. I'm not sure that's necessarily necessary. Part of it's because they went straight through and then at a later date decided that was not the direction they wanted to stay in for their entire career, in which case they went back and got a second master's in the direction they wanted to go in. Also, in your junior year, you should be attending both career fairs. There's usually one in the fall as well as one in the spring. That can help you for looking for a co-op or internship at the end of your junior year, which is the summer before your senior year. Again, you would like to complete as many co-ops and internships. You can do it with the same employer or you can do it with different employers. There's rationales for each one. The same employer gives you consistent experience and the ability to continue to adjust your learning and take on more tasks because you've been with them for whether it's 3 full years or 3 direct summers. The other option is to work at 3 different areas or organizations over those 3 different summers, with that being the case that you get a chance to see the different cultures of different organizations. You cannot assume that every organization has the same culture, and you want to have some experience or at least knowledge about that there are different cultures out there that organizations operate by. Next, congratulations. You have finished your junior year. You have finished your co-op or internship, and you are now in your senior year. You are about to graduate at the end of this year. As we talked about in your junior year, where you were just thinking about graduate school, you now have to give further thought upon graduation. Am I going to look to attend graduate school, or am I going to complete my job search so I can find permanent employment upon graduation? The other thing is it relates to attending graduate school. If you attend for 1 year, although it's less expensive, one of the things you're going to want to try to do is see if you can find scholarships to help cover that cost. You might consider being a graduate assistant and working for a professor at that college or university, and then whether you want to stay at your current college or university or go to a different college or university for a different experience. Having said that, if you're going to complete your job search, then that's a totally different perspective, and you want to have made sure that over years 1, 2, and 3, you've made contacts and connections within your career field. If you wait until your junior year, you at least have 2 years to create contacts and connections within professional organizations, as well as any of the positions that you've worked for. You should also be updating your LinkedIn page to make sure that the contacts and connections that you made during your co-op or internship are people that you plan to stay in touch with and follow up with upon graduation. Again, you will be attending both career fairs, one in the fall and one in the spring. You'll be completing your coursework requirements in your major. As you plan your job search, you want to think about the information and experiences that you had during your co-ops and internships, and that will help shape your job search. You want to attend any workshops or refreshers on job search skills, resume writing, cover letters, and mock interviews. You want to be as prepared as possible. I hadn't mentioned before, but you will also want to have is called an elevator pitch. If you're not familiar with that, then you definitely want to attend whether it's a career services session or a session that an organization is having for free for you to learn about mock interviews, how to conduct them, and how to be comfortable so that when you're in a live interview, you're less nervous and you're familiar with some of the questions that you will be asked. Your campus could also have employer sessions, and employers can have sessions off campus. Again, they should be free and you should attend. That allows you to learn information about the organizations, their expectations, what they're looking for, and that's important information when you're applying for a position within an organization. You want to think about and ask faculty, administrators, and/or staff, and any employers that you've worked with about being a reference for you. References are critical to your success. So you want to make sure that whether it's a professor or an administrator or an employer, that you've worked directly with that person, they know the quality of the skill sets that you bring, and they know that you complete your assignments, and you're serious about working with organizations. Those are all important for your success. Think about, as you're working through your job search, what are the things you enjoyed most about working in your career field, and what are some things you enjoyed least? Think about also the types of managers that you had, and hopefully within your experience with your internship or co-op, you were assigned a mentor or you selected a mentor, someone within that organization that you could have conversations with, not only about that employer, but about the career, as well as the trends within your field or organization. All those things can help you. As you move forward with your job search in particular, since you're going to be graduating, you want to make the best decision possible for you. And although I know students think money is important, and I'm not going to say that it isn't, it is not more important than the work that you will be doing or the boss that you will inherit. All of those things collectively are important. I've seen people love their salary and hate their boss. I've seen people hate the work but love their boss. So there's any combination of things that can happen. Ideal, you like the work, you like the boss, you like your salary. In the event that all three things don't line up, definitely it's important to like your work and to enjoy and work well with your boss. The money will come. That may mean you have to leave your existing employer to gain more money. However, if you've built relationships throughout your internships, those are other organizations that you can look to for opportunities as you continue to grow. Although I know salary is important to people, and I know you want to be able to pay your student loans and move out on your own, know that understanding and working well within your industry is just as important. That is what allows you to move up within an organization. That is also what allows you to move to a different organization at a higher level, at a higher salary. I'm sure you can't remember when you were a baby. However, you learned to crawl before you could walk, before you could run. Those are things that you also want to keep in mind as you're moving forward. I'm going to say the crawling is your internships, the walking is your first and or second position within your career field, and your running is once you've gotten, I'll say 3 to 5 years of experience, have a really good handle on what to do, how to do it, as well as possibly had an opportunity to learn some additional skill sets while in the workforce. Again, which makes you a much more marketable person that other organizations would be interested in having work for them. I hope this information has been helpful to you in terms of not only your first and second year, but now your third and fourth year in college. I'd like to thank my current listeners. I'd like to especially thank my subscribers. A reminder, if you have any questions as it relates to this podcast or any of my previous podcasts, do not hesitate to send me an email at conversationsforcollegesuccess@hotmail.com. Again, send questions to conversationsforcollegesuccess@hotmail.com. I'm going to wish everyone a wonderful Thanksgiving holiday because that's going to be the following week. You will also be working on papers and finals and a whole host of things. So I will not be returning to my podcast until the week of January 22nd. So enjoy your holiday, not only Thanksgiving, if you celebrate Christmas or happy holidays. And I'll talk to you when you return to school for hopefully either your junior or senior year. Have a great day. Bye-bye.